You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Where are you now, Mark?
Bangkok, home.
At home. How's Mika?
At home, yeah.
How's Ying?
Good. They're good. They're here. Yeah, they're doing well.
How old is Mika now?
3.5.
Wow. You're and how's Daddy? For the last
Yeah,
year.
he's doing all right. But when we came last to Philippines, he was only like 4 months, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
born,
just
yeah.
baby.
She was
Yeah.
just a
Yeah,
baby.
he was
So
a baby.
that's 2017, no? Or
3.5.
It was, I think like early 2017.
and that was the last time you've been to Manila, or did you go back?
That was the last time. Last time, yeah, for sure. I don't think we've been back. Otherwise, we would have seen you for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's been a while, Mark, and
Yeah.
I know that we've just been talking about YouTube at the time, and
Yeah, we had been, huh?
and then you were doing daily videos at the time, and you were saying, you want to do this because you want to be 6 million subscribers at the time. And now that happened. So anyway, we'll start. We'll just be talking about. So this is a series on digital content creators in lockdown, and of
Filipino.
course, our industry has been impacted, and we wanted to share your thoughts or our strategies during this time. Okay,
All right.
let's start. All right, thank you. And we're here talking to thank you for All right, welcome. For
Thank
those
you.
people watching, good afternoon, good evening, good evening, Mark. For those watching in the replay or watching it live, you could actually ask questions in the comments below. We're talking to Mark Wiens about digital content strategies in the post-COVID world. How are you, Mark?
Yes, doing well. Thank you so much for having me. Good to see both of you.
Yes, and maybe we'll introduce. I'm not sure if, of course, everybody knows Mark Wiens, but for those people who are not yet acquainted with your YouTube channel, so maybe can you share the story of your channel, Migrationology Mark Wiens?
Yes. Originally for me, I started off blogging, writing about anything I would do, especially travel, especially food, because I've always liked to eat. I've always loved to eat. But then I think it's been almost 10 years already. Has it been 10 years when I said, oh man, I'm kind of bored of writing, and I think video is a lot more fun. So I decided to try making videos, and I just committed to making videos and said I gotta keep making videos at that time. And so that was about 10 years ago. And then it's just been a progression. It's really a learning experience because I started off with zero video background, no film education. I had a little point and shoot camera, and I was like, wow, it's amazing. You can take a video, you can speak, you can express your emotion, you can show the surroundings, you can hear sound. That's something you can't do with a photograph or with writing. I mean, you can with writing a bit, but you can hear everything. And so I was like, this is an amazing way to be able to show the culture of street food.
Yes, and maybe for those of us who are aspiring YouTubers also, maybe just a brief recap of what you learned, how to get to 6 million subscribers. What were the key factors, Mark? I know, we've been blogging together for a while, and then, when I met you in 2017, your channel's just going up. What were the key factors in getting to 6 million subscribers?
For for sure, one of them is consistency. Being consistent with content, even not just having 20 videos or 50 videos or 100 video, but hundreds of videos. Consistency, publishing content. That's one for sure, one of the main things. Another thing is, I think it's just about being yourself, about having a personality that's your own personality, that everybody has a unique personality. Also, I think it's about like entertainment, yes, but also having content that is useful or impactful, practical, so that people have something that they learn. And I think that also sticks more with an audience. And then finally, I think it's just perseverance. It's a bit of luck sometimes too, because you never know what content, you don't always know what content will do well, what content won't. So there's that involved too. But I think the more perseverant you are and the more consistent you are, you definitely have a lot more chances then to have content that does well.
Okay, and I know that we had this discussion whether daily videos is very important in the algorithm, maybe back then, or is it even now?
I don't think so. Possibly. That's another thing that's important, is that it's not just learning one time. It's continuously learning. You can never stop learning, because number one is technology. It's just always progresses, always changes. Number two is all of the social media platforms always progress, always change. Number three is the audience progresses, changes, and then you change. Even you get older, you change. So it's a continual process of learning more and more. So there was a time a few years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago, when the daily vlogging was becoming very popular. But I think it's just not sustainable. Even people that did it really, really well, how many years can you go on doing that without breaking relationships, how long can it be sustainable?
Yes.
So I also think it's for an audience, it is possibly too much content too. So I say 1 to 2 per week, 1 to 3 per week.
You do Wednesday and Saturdays now, no?
Yeah, Wednesdays and Sundays.
Sundays, yeah.
But I've done 2 ever since I committed to making videos. It's been 2 videos per week.
Okay.
And I just haven't looked back on that. But I think 2 is a good, for me, I think 2 is a good balance, because it's not too much content where you're just flooding feeds, but it's manageable as well.
Okay. But in terms of food content, were you deliberate to do it like a mukbang style, or your eyes, making big, or what was in the content that you think worked for the audience?
Back when I don't think mukbang even existed back that long ago.
Yeah.
So I didn't even really know what it was. That's quite a new term. Or maybe it existed in Korea. I'm not sure. I'm not totally sure. But anyways, no, my idea was just to be, I would be with my friends hanging out. We loved to eat. And that was just like how we ate. And so I was like, it would just be fun to record what we're eating.
Oh.
Okay. And of course, now you have a team, or is still Ying shooting during some of your sessions?
Yeah, just us. I have some editors sometimes. Video editors.
So we have there are people tuning in into this discussion. So you have Fritz. We'll just show them Fritz, Marvin, um, Chai, big fan,
May.
Thank
Mimi,
you.
and then Blessy. Of course, you know we should. We met in Discovery, as you know, here in Manila. Chiang Mai, of course.
Awesome.
You have a lot of Chinese fans,
Awesome. Thank you.
of course, and Jane, of course,
Even
our good friend Jane
From Disco.
from Discovery.
Before.
So, have you just done? Are you devoting your content now to YouTube, or how do you manage the other social media channels?
No, not devoting to YouTube, but that is the main platform that I post on. But I post on Facebook, I post on Instagram. Mainly those three.
Is it the same content? How do you differentiate the content?
It also depends. I mean, for Instagram, of course, it's much shorter content, where I would edit smaller videos. But usually for Instagram, I usually post videos too. For Facebook, oftentimes it's basically the same video.
Okay. And now, during this quarantine, how was quarantine? This is a series on digital creators during the lockdown and quarantine. What did you do during this time? And I know this is a very difficult time for everyone. Can you share us how was your quarantine journey?
Yes. So I had luckily filmed, and I typically do film a few months ahead of time. So I have content for a couple of months, just as some just to have an archive of content. So I had a couple months of footage ready to be edited, ready to post when the lockdown happened, when the spread really happened, the worldwide spread. So I was lucky in that sense to have content built up. And then but additionally, we're not totally sure how long it would last or when we'd be able to create content again. So I started creating some content at home. I started doing some takeaway videos, takeaway food recipes, takeaway food videos at home, a couple of recipes, coming up with different ideas to try to stretch out the other content. And as of now, I think Bangkok was in lockdown for about 2 months, a little over 2 months. And now restaurants and street food stalls are back open under certain regulations. And
how was so how I've seen one of your videos now on street food. How's the safety protocols on street food in Bangkok?
They're changing kind of rapidly and updating things kind of quickly, but for the most part, it's in central areas of Bangkok, in the busy market central areas of Bangkok. It's usually supposed to be one person per table, unless you have a barrier on the table, in which case you can have your another person can be sitting at that table too. But I think now they might have changed the policy. If you're family, you can be at the same table. I believe, but it's right now it's always kind of changing. And the further you get out of the center of the city, things are a little more relaxed, and so it's changing.
What are there a lot of COVID cases in Bangkok, or was it
as of now they've really done a good job to control the spread. So there's only a couple cases per day.
Okay. We have a question from Omar. Are you already thinking about first countries to visit after this, or?
To be honest, I mean, no more than just dreams of countries. I'm not planning anything right now because it's just too uncertain. You may be able to get into a country, but then you might get stuck in a quarantine, or you may not be able to get back to your home. So I guess if I was single, I would be willing to take more risk. But with a family, with a wife and son, it's just, at the moment, I just don't have real plans, no.
All right. Just pull in some Chef Sao, say hi, Mark.
Hey, Chef Sal.
You're
Hi.
the one and only King.
Chili King.
And Omar from West Palm Beach, Florida.
So, do you have any plans of going out? I mean, going out of to just go out.
Actually, so I will be hopefully starting to travel domestically quite soon. Things are open now, and especially road travel.
Mhm.
Yeah, road travel.
I think it's pretty safe. It's pretty good. But also, I also think evidence has shown that outdoor street food is less risky than indoor. So that's good for being a street food lover.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's yeah, and that was
Even-
what we were talking about. It needs to be outdoors, right?
Yeah, I mean the open airflow is big, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Jane has a question. What was the thing that you missed most about vlogging when the lockdown happened?
So I recently, just a couple days ago, I went out to film a street food video. Some of the reopened street food stalls in Bangkok, and something I hadn't been thinking about this. I just hadn't crossed my mind. But when I was there, I remembered how I missed the energy, the action of a market, of a busy market. You're like moving around. Big boxes are moving around. There's food smells all over. So I missed the energy of the people, even more than the food, because the food, we've been eating at home, we've been ordering delivery food, but I think it's really the people, the energy.
Yeah. And how was it after it opened?
It's pretty. Most people wear masks, and I think everybody is taking hygiene quite seriously. Everyone's washing their hands and using alcohol. So I think, but overall, street food it's remained almost the same.
Yeah, that's good. And so, like, talking about what do you let's talk about platforms, no, content strategies. Did your traffic in YouTube go down, or advertising? What happened in YouTube and the different platforms?
So I think overall everything's remained steady pretty much. There's been fluctuations, ups and downs. Sometimes revenue has, I believe, like at the one part of the when the virus really spread to the US, when it was a worrying time, I think maybe revenue dipped a little bit and platforms kind of changed a little bit. And then, but overall, I think as for views, if anything, it's been higher because more people are
At home.
watching
At home.
on
That's
the
good.
internet.
Now, we have some questions. So we have Kay here commenting on Tijuana food tour.
Thank you.
Jane
Okay.
Santiago, so your video about the street food, it looks odd that there's not much people around. Well,
Oh, the recent one. Yeah, that is true. It's still much more quiet than it would normally be, for sure.
okay. And our friend from Discovery, Blessy, in terms of safety and sanitation, what are the new imperatives next time you dine at a restaurant? When is it safe to dine out again?
I think with this question, it really, really depends on country to country, because every country is in a different situation and a different stage. But I think it's all, and it also has to do with your personal
Preference.
risk. Yeah, like risk management or what you're willing to risk. Like if you have a family, if you're single, if you have an ailment. But so it really has to be your choice. But I think number one is for sure to, well, I mean, I was also watching some of the news where it's not a foodborne illness, right? It doesn't spread by ingestion of food. So it's really about keeping surfaces clean, avoiding touching your eyes and your nose and your mouth, and distancing from people. So it should really be your choice, but weighing in all of these situations.
Okay. And was there in YouTube, was there any particular change during the quarantine in terms of content that works out that you discovered?
Well, I think delivering food to your home worked quite well because so many people around the world could relate to that. So many people were at home ordering food or cooking food, recipes as well. So many people around the world were in this similar situation and could identify with that, could relate to that. So I think that type of content did really well.
And did you do more recipe with videos during the time, or?
I've done a couple, but planning to do more.
Thai food or mostly?
International and Thai.
Okay. What do you think about TikTok?
It's interesting.
Are you planning to have one?
Yeah, I have it already. I post
Oh,
occasionally. It's really, I mean, that's it's definitely something we can't avoid. But at the same time, it's really, I haven't seen that much value in the content yet. Although it could also change. It's more about entertainment so far, but definitely building an audience there. And I think more and more people are maybe starting to share information that's more valuable on TikTok. But wherever there's people, wherever there's an audience, there's definitely an opportunity.
Yeah.
And now there's massive.
Are the food videos in TikTok taking off? Or?
Oh yeah, huge. They are, but it's more like action entertainment food.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Like grilling a massive steak or rotating a lechon, or I don't know. You know, it's like that as opposed to I don't know, a recommendation for a restaurant.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't have much experience, so I'm not. I don't think I can. Maybe there is a lot of content. I haven't spent that much time on it.
Okay. Picking up some of the comments, the spicy noodle episode was great.
Thank you.
And yeah, how about mother-in-law? Do you do a lot of cooking videos with your mother-in-law?
I previously did, and I might do some more. Yeah, I did. I have done a few, and I did do one recently. I think at home eating.
So what's your secret, Mark? You don't get fat or doing all this food blogging?
Well, actually, I eat a lot of chilies. But I love to exercise also, and I have been exercising a lot. And even during this time, during quarantine especially, I've been eating quite a healthy diet. A lot of vegetables, fruits. So that's part of. I just lost my audio.
Oh, no.
No, sorry.
Okay, there we go.
You-
There we go. We're back.
Okay. And so, and do you think? Oh, so let's talk about moving forward. What do you think? Post-COVID, in this post-COVID world, any tips for content creators looking into doing more content? Obviously, travel internationally won't be back, I guess. Or what do you think?
I think it depends on the destination too. Depends on the destination a lot. But I mean, I think international travel will return at some point. We're just not sure when. But maybe more of the localized travel, domestic travel, but also certain country partnerships that each country trusts could be something we see.
Okay.
But then, what was the second part about content creation?
Mm-hmm.
For content creation, again, it's something that's just something that's continually adapting, and it's thinking of ideas that adapt to the current situation and the current country that you're in. I think it's just, you just got to do your best with whatever situation you are in. So when we were in lockdown, the current situation was being able to deliver food, but maybe in some countries you couldn't even deliver food. So maybe it was cooking at home.
Yeah.
I think it's about being creative in the situation. If you're a content creative, be creative in the situation that you are in and make the most of the situation that you are in to provide practical, valuable content that is also represents you and also is natural.
Okay. We have a question.
So, how do you think this pandemic is shaping the culinary scene? Besides health and safety, food delivery, and home cooking, what will be the new trends in F&B?
Ooh. Wait, let me read that one more time. Food delivery, home cooking.
What would be the new trend?
Yeah. I do think that delivery is still going to be popular. Maybe for the first, like if restaurants reopen, maybe it will be a novelty to quickly go to a restaurant. But at the same time, I think there's some new ideas that have come out of this that will remain. For instance, in Bangkok, which I've been lucky to be a part of test out a couple of delivery food services, where there was one restaurant, and actually it's a company that's set up called Fruitful, where they partner with a higher end restaurant. Then that food is delivered to your house, and it's like a fine dining meal that pairs together with a live entertainment and a live program, and also talking with the chef, interacting with the chef explains the food. So there's live music. So it's kind of
interactive.
It's interactive. It's a meal at home. You can be with your family. So something like that. I mean, if you have kids and it's not possible to go out, but this is even, just previously, but if you have kids, it's still not possible to really go out to a nice dinner. Yeah. This is a concept that could work well, and I think that will continue even beyond this. So I think there's some unique ideas that have really come about from this that could remain.
In street food, it's just the same.
Street food, maybe not quite the same, because street food is typically designed to be fast and easy and on the go wherever you are. But street food, in my opinion, I think street food will slowly become pretty much exactly how it was.
Uh-huh.
Because we've seen street food vendors they're resilient. They've been through so much. They've been through even daily, they're on the move, on the go, changing locations. They're resilient.
Yeah. And easy.
Okay. We have comment. Hey Mark, keep up the good work. Content is amazing. There's a question from Omar.
There's a special request. Go on live on YouTube.
Yeah, what do you think about live?
What do I think about live? I do enjoy it, but I think it really takes some planning to be able to do a live, so that you really have an outline of what you're gonna do and say. Because I think maybe if it's just a meal, it's hard to do a full live because it might take too long, and you kind of got to be eating, but then at the same time you got to be talking. So it is, but yeah, it can definitely be done. It can definitely be done. You kind of have to maybe set a time limit.
Mm-hmm. Have you done it? Have you done it?
I might have done a couple of lives on Instagram, but not on YouTube. No.
Wow.
Just short ones.
Yeah, short ones.
Interesting. So going back to YouTube with all this live and the new algorithm, for someone starting in YouTube now, what do you think the algorithm would favor at this time? Or how do you start with YouTube now? Is it more competitive now, especially in the food and travel segment?
Yes, more competitive. Yeah, probably. But at the same time, there's definitely room for anyone who wants to start. As of a couple years ago, the most important factor on YouTube is the watch time, which is it's not about the percentage of your video being watched. It's about the amount of minutes or amount of seconds or minutes that are watched of your video. So if you can get a video where people are watching on average 5 minutes or 10 minutes of your video, which means longer content to have that possibility, your video will perform better than a video that's just 1 minute. So, but that has to do with engagement. So most important factors are watch time and engagement. If you can keep those up, that's how your videos will be recommended, and how your videos will do better. So that's the main goal. Engaging content. Create something engaging where people will stick to it and watch it.
And do you think with food, is the style of the food vloggers still the preferred way to present food?
Vlogging style, you mean, as opposed to more
information? Yeah.
No, I don't think there's any right or wrong way. I think it just has to do with your personality, what you like, and what you want to do. But I think anyone from basically no budget to high budget production can produce something.
Okay. And you've answered this a while ago. Your first travel destination, you said locally within Bangkok.
Yeah, domestic travel.
Where exactly do you have plans already? And
maybe we'll go just up to Chiang Mai, probably
Probably.
in northern Thailand.
Yes. So I'm putting up. Don said, "Mark can do no wrong." Big fan here.
Thank you, Don.
Yeah, and maybe Philippines one of these days again. It's been a long time.
That'd be great. Would love to visit. I still haven't been to Cebu yet.
Really?
No,
Wow,
that's why.
you're right.
Yeah, I would love to visit Cebu. Would love to
We'll
visit
go
Mindanao.
together.
Yes.
Yes. Mindanao.
A lot
Have
of
you been?
places. No,
Ah,
have a lot of places to go in Philippines.
Yes.
Yes. So going back to YouTube, when you do content, it's still the fast pacing type of content, right? You change scene every 15 seconds. Is that still the way to engage audience using the content?
Typically, yes. It's because, yeah, I mean, engagement is one of the factors you're pushing for most on YouTube, engagement. So how to keep people's attention in a world of way too much information and so many things going on is to make it fast paced. That can be one strategy. But I mean, I also with your wording, what you say, what can you say in your speech also that makes people want to wait to see what's going to happen next?
Okay. Like for example, how do you do that?
Just as an example, saying like, just so you're walking down the street and you could be like, okay, the next place that we're going to go to eat, they're famous for serving the most famous Thai food. And then you cut there and then you go to some B-roll, I don't know, the street, and you see some of the scenery around. So when you cut like that, they're wondering what is the most famous Thai food. You don't tell them what it is. There's probably a term for that in writing, right? I'm not
In writing, yeah.
Suspense.
Suspense, a bit of suspense, a bit of foreshadowing.
Intrigue.
Not foreshadowing. I don't know. I didn't do so well in my writing classes, but but you know that's the concept is not giving all the information at one time.
One time.
So that they have to watch the next scene. But if you keep on repeating that strategy, not in an annoying way, of course.
Sorry.
But that's just one example.
Yeah, this always a struggle. How do you enjoy and then shooting? What's your strategy? Can you read?
Oh,
What's
what's your eating food strategies during filming and not filming?
Do you think that means like what foods I eat, or
No,
No.
I think how do you appreciate the food while filming?
the
The
eating
food.
strategies?
Yeah, yes.
Wait, what's your
During filming.
During filming and not filming.
I think my
Or is
Typically-
it just the same when you eat and while filming and
No, you film throughout the eating experience, right?
yes. Yeah, I mean, I think for me, my strategy is to typically my strategy is to typically film and eat what I would eat even if I wasn't filming. So let's say like even if I didn't have a camera, if I wasn't filming, I would still be eating that same exact meal that I'm eating while I'm filming. Does that make sense?
yeah. So it's
I don't want to make up like, oh, I had to order this dish for the camera.
and then you don't eat it or
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like I would be ordering that same exact meal. I would be at that same street food stall, even without the camera.
Yeah.
Because that's
With
how
or without the camera, you do what you do.
that's what I would still be doing.
Yeah.
And even if I didn't film, if I didn't do YouTube, I would be still, my favorite thing to do in the world would be travel to a destination and just go eating around.
And so I know you've been to Chiang Mai a number of times. Like how do you choose the next story in a destination you've been to?
I guess it gets harder and harder the more content you've done, so that you're not too repetitive. But it's about thinking about new ideas. It's about a lot of thinking, research, connecting with people in new ways. So it's mainly about just kind of doing a lot of thinking. And how can you cover this in a new angle?
Okay. There's a follow-up to the question on the eating strategy. Like in a buffet, do you taste everything but small portions, or do you eat everything?
Let's see. It depends. No, I like to taste a variety of things, but in a situation like a buffet,
Mhm.
I'm a very non-picky eater. I will taste and eat just about anything and everything. But in the case of a buffet, okay, I'm a very non-picky eater. I'll taste and eat everything. But of course, some things are better than other things. So in the case of a buffet, I would go for the things that are better than the good things. And
Or
eat all of
something
them.
rare, right?
Yeah.
Something rare or hard to cook.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a buffet and there's crab, I'm going to be eating like 75% crab,
Okay.
And how about then another follow-up?
At home, like you eat healthy to prepare for the large food spread during filming. Ano yan?
No, eating. This is related to the eating strategies.
Okay.
Oh, that you prepare for the filming?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one thing. But I also, I guess the older I get, also I care more about health. I care more about health. I care more about.
Like what? You eat a lot.
So keeping healthy, eating a lot of vegetables, and I've always loved vegetables. I've always
Yes.
loved vegetables. I've never been I've always loved vegetables. So, and then also, yeah, when I am traveling, usually the diet is not so healthy.
Okay. Pulling off some of the comments. Fantastic insight. Thank you, Mark. More of your secrets.
Thank
We have
you.
a question from from Leslie.
Are you seeing a huge spike in your old and new contents? Are consumed amid pandemic? So
Was there
I
a
can
particular
I
content
can
that surged during the
Yeah.
pandemic?
with your
maybe
old one?
maybe overall there've been ups and downs, but I think overall content views are up a little bit. But it's kind of hard to tell also, because it's really driven by content. You'll have some content that just does well naturally, and some content that doesn't do as well always.
Okay. With
Will you be traveling with Ying and Mika, or will you be traveling solo?
yeah.
Moving
I'll still be traveling with Ying and Micah.
together, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Next.
Will you focus on influencing people to continue to eat out after the COVID? Me being in the food business, I need content creators who will champion dining out as long as there's safety protocols.
Uh-huh. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I really want to be able to support restaurants, especially individual owned restaurants, independently owned restaurants. And I think, again, every country is in a different position, a different stage, and you have to assess the risk for yourself. But yeah, I'm definitely would recommend going to restaurants when it's safe and when you feel safe though too,
Yeah.
and depending on the situations.
Okay. So these are follow-up question. While filming,
Do you eat a lot of food that you don't enjoy? And do you tend to not show those in your video?
how do you handle if you don't like it?
That rarely, maybe like only a couple times in my life has that ever happened.
Because you're not a picky eater.
Yeah,
right?
I'm really. That's why I'm a terrible food critic, because I just like everything. Yeah. So no, I can't. There has been a couple times on camera where it's been too salty or like it's just maybe rotten or something, and I have said that.
Oh.
When the food is definitely wrong, but you know, if it's rotten and it's supposed to be, then I'm gonna try it for sure and appreciate it. You know, so really, I'm just a non-picky eater.
Yes. Sorry. Okay. So then, moving forward, what do you think? I know you still run your blog, right? You still write, or you don't do that anymore? Did you see more? Huh?
Occasionally.
Okay. And you're just sticking with video. I notice in YouTube and Facebook you post the same video, right?
Yes, I do.
And is there any difference or any strategy on how do you do Facebook and YouTube?
No, same content. It's just natively uploading to Facebook rather than posting the link, because the link, the algorithm just turns it off.
Okay. And in Instagram you do vertical, right?
Yes.
IGTV.
Every time I do HGTV or IGTV, sorry.
IGTV, yeah. So it's consistent across the platform, all the content, or you choose which one to show?
For IGTV?
Yeah.
For IGTV, then I'd take smaller segments, just 2 or 3 minutes of that video to post on IGTV.
But the same, like for example, if you release Philippines this week, it will be in all the platforms?
Yes.
Simultaneously.
All 3 at once.
And of course, YouTube is still the best place to go, right? For you. That's your main.
Yeah, for me, yeah.
What do you think of the super chats? You know, the all new other YouTube features. Is that something that you should? And then you have these premium YouTube subscriptions. I mean, does it affect creators and stuff? What do you think?
I haven't used that. I haven't really experimented with anything, but it could be a good strategy. It depends on what your strategy is. It just depends on what the route you want to take, the route you want to go. Something like Patreon. People have asked me why don't you do Patreon?
Yeah, why not?
And that's because it wasn't my strategy. My strategy was to create products instead of have donations. So it depends on your strategy. But I preferred to have a product line, merchandise, than to have a Patreon. But not saying Patreon is wrong, or it's just your strategy, what you want to do.
So how's that? I know always ever since we met, you like products, from ebooks before and stuff and merchandising. How's the sale of those merchandise? What do people buy?
Good. It's good. I think people are amazing support, and overall it's good.
How about the branded chips? Does that work well? Also the mark.
Oh yeah, that was they're. I think, I mean, I don't compare it to anything, but it is. I think it's great, and I love the product,
Mm-hmm.
and so I love it.
Okay. Some more questions. We'll just pull them. Do you have a team that helps with editing?
Yes.
Yes, I mean, I do some editing, but I do have a couple guys that edit now.
But you still shoot, you guys.
Yeah.
And you shoot, and then you have it edited. How's the merch and chips doing, Mark, this pandemic?
Actually, I put a hold on the merchandise because of the postal system. So for about a month and a half, I put a hold on it. So that was mainly because it was taking too long, and I didn't want to have complaints about. Understandably, I didn't want to have complaints about the shipping taking too long. So I just decided to halt the store for a little while.
Okay. And so that's all the questions. Maybe let's wrap up our discussion. What's your final thoughts on? I know there's a lot of content creators in the travel field that were affected by COVID as well. Any final thoughts on what do you think, and inspirational thoughts from you?
I mean, these are uncertain times. We can reflect back how things used to be, or we can move forward and be creative with the situation that we're in, and be flexible and be creative. And so I think we all need to use this time to move forward, to help and build each other up. And I mean, I for one hope that so many of us have learned a lot. And of course, it's been challenging and a struggle for so many people, and for so many. But I think let's push forward. And if you want to be a content creator, keep thinking of new ideas, coming up with new ideas, and be persistent, be consistent. And that would be my tip for going forward and being a content creator. And be yourself. I think we lost audio again.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay.
So suggestion from a viewer: ordering take from non-Thai restaurants. People outside Thailand would love to know the quality of foreign food there.
Okay.
Maybe a series?
Foreign food in Bangkok.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Omar.
All right.
Maybe.
Do you do that, or no? You just
I think so. Not. I've
Not
done
so
some.
much.
I have done some, but not a lot. But definitely, there's a lot of foreign food in Bangkok.
Okay. About collaborations, how do you think about collaborations? I'm sure a lot of people, approach you for collabs. And Don said, please do more collabs with Sonny in the Food Ranger. So how do you think about food collaborations?
I think they're great because we all kind of have similar minds, especially food lovers. We all love food. And then this publishing content on YouTube is not only a full-time job, but it's kind of, it consumes your life because it has to do with everything, and you're constantly having to think. It never ends. You're constantly thinking about it. So I mean, when you meet somebody that's also in the same doing
Wavelength.
something similar, it's fun to hang out. It's fun to create content together. So collabs are great for sure. I enjoy them.
Okay. And how have you done with Sonny and the Food Ranger?
Yes.
You've done.
Oh, so more collabs.
Okay. Cheryl, from
So good to see both of my travel and food idols together in one screen. Thanks, Cheryl.
Thanks, Cheryl.
Hello, Cheryl.
Can we have a photo, Mark, for the thumbnail?
Yeah, sure. How
All
should
right.
we do this?
No, I'll just screenshot it.
Okay.
Okay, 1, 2. One more. Solo. Sorry.
You're solo.
Okay.
Okay. Wait. I'll just remove the banner. Okay. 1, 2. All right. Wait. So just one last comment.
Mark, kudos to the latest video you published featuring how things are going in BKK and street food too. Always enjoy watching you. You always provide and generate excellent content.
Thank
Okay.
you, Cheryl.
All right. And just to close this, how do you think about YouTube? Would you think that you would stop it, or are you going for 10 million subs? What do you think about your YouTube channel moving forward?
Oh, I'm not totally sure. I'm enjoying it. I'll keep on doing it as long as I enjoy it and as long as I can do it. But also at this point, I make it a point to not overdo it, and to spend time with friends and family. So to have a balanced life. So it's yeah, but I still love it. I still enjoy it. So there's the point for me now is to try to create more valuable content, maybe telling better stories.
Mhm.
It's good.
And maybe a Netflix series sometime.
Maybe. We shall
All right.
see.
We shall see. Okay, blessed thanks for this episode, Anton and Mark.
Thank you, Blessed.
Thank you, Mark. We'll just
And thank
play.
you everybody for tuning in. Thank you to Anton and Rich for having me.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank
See
you.
you guys.
All right. Thank you. And we're here talking to Steve. Thank you for all right.
Oh, you still on?
Hey, yes. Can we see Ying? Where's Ying? Can we see?
Oh, I think she's putting Micah to sleep.
Micah to sleep.
Okay. Yeah, we miss her. Why don't you
Yeah.
show her in your videos and
Wait, are we still on? Are we still on live?
yes,
Or no?
yes. Yes.
Oh, we are. Oh.
Wait, I'll remove the... Wait, saan ba? Okay.
Hindi,
Yeah.
ayaw niya ng live.
Ayun na. Okay. So, wait, we'll end the broadcast.